My salams, greetings everybody. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. I'm on the trail. I do the trail. I try to do it at least 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm on the trail by myself today, actually, because no one wanted to come with me. That's okay. Sometimes you need alone time. In your week, ladies, try to find time alone with you and just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, I have conversations with God when I'm alone on the trail. I have some powerful conversations. Ask questions, ask for guidance. Even sometimes say some of all the prophets' prayers. I love how the prophets' prayers are in the Quran. Have you guys noticed that? Like the prayers that the prophet Jesus said, or the prophet Noah, or prophet Yunus, or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, like different prophets, Moses, like their prayers are in the Quran. So it's really powerful. My husband has a book called Prayers of the Prophet, and he will sometimes write them down and recite them after our salat sometimes. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, I was inspired to come and share my thoughts about this particular topic. Alhamdulillah, me and some of the sisters from our masjid drove to Portland yesterday, and it was like a last minute thing. I love how God drops things in my lap last minute. I tell y'all, I love surprises. I love being surprised by Allah. Say that sometimes. You be surprised how many surprises fall into your lap. But I love how He just drops surprises in my lap. And so I didn't even know about this, that one of my favorite sheikhs, Dr. Yunus, Haifa Yunus, was speaking in Portland yesterday, and I found out about this on Friday. So we drove down to Portland. It's like 2.5 hour drive. It's a beautiful day. It's beautiful today. It's been really sunny lately in the Pacific Northwest, which is rare for us for the winter. So it's a blessing. But anyway, and so we drove to go see her. She was, of course, amazing. There was probably about at least maybe 200 queens in the room, and the head queen was speaking. And what I noticed was her energy. I wasn't sitting very close to the stage, but I felt her presence, and she was not close to me, but I felt her presence while she was talking. And she talked a lot about so many different topics, but I feel like one of the things that I got from her was how everything that we do, from what we say, how we dress, how we treat others, how we treat ourselves, can be an act of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything can be an act of worship. And it made me, just like today in my day, think about what do I do in every moment to worship God? What do I do? And somebody's walking by, so they just disrupted my thoughts. Hello, how are you? Good. Act of worship. Even smiling. Even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said smiling is an act of charity. Even smiling at people is an act of worship. Anything good that you're doing for the sake of Allah is worship. Even when you don't want to smile at people. Even when you're like, oh, I'm on the trail, I just want to be in my own little world. But I noticed today, everybody who walked by on the trail, I was like, oh, let me smile and let me greet them, as an act of worship. And it's the more you just worship and you see everything you do in your life as an act of worship, it is crazy. But you will be happier, you'll be more at peace, you'll be more connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll feel good, you'll feel light, you'll feel happy. Just from worshiping, just from seeing everything that you're doing that's good is an act of worship. And she said it. She was like, it's not just praying 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan. Of course, those are obligatory things that we do to worship the creator of the universe. But it's deeper. Islam is deeper than that. It's in everything. It's wholesome. In her own words, Islam is wholesome. It encompasses every part of our being. And I just thought, well, I really have to work on seeing it as that. And whether it's helping my family, whether it's helping the sisters that I'm coaching all around the world now, whether it's helping the sisters in our community, whether it's helping strangers, anything that you're doing that benefits someone else is an act of worship. And one thing she talked about too was the hijab, of course, and being very proud of that, like being proud, like to be different, like wearing our hijabs is an act of worship, right? It's an act of submission. As we submit ourselves to God, like we get closer. Like that's how you get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And the more closer I get, like my life is just, it has more meaning, it has more purpose. I'm happier every day. I wake up happy. I go to bed content and fulfilled. And it's such a blessing and a joy to have arrived at this place and to be exploring my faith like on a deeper level. I don't even think there's words for it, but she was phenomenal. And then we prayed, we made Maghrib in the masjid, and with all these sisters who I don't know, strangers, all these little queens, and how good it felt. How good it felt to make prayer with these women was powerful. And then what's funny is one of my followers on TikTok and YouTube came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, I follow you and I love your content and you're amazing." And that has never happened to me before. And that felt so good. And I was like, Alhamdulillah, that my experiences, my words of wisdom, my message are touching people. And I could actually meet someone physically that was like, "Thank you for your message. Keep going." It felt so good. It was like I was supposed to be there. She was supposed to be there. Just letting him guide your life is, you couldn't plan it better. I promise you. You couldn't plan it better in your own limited scope of understanding. He is really the best of planners. So what else did I want to say about that? Yeah, just focus on your acts of worship and everything that you do in your life, in your marriage, with your children, in your community, with your friends, and your life will just, alhamdulillah, it will just be beautiful. So that's all that I had today, guys. Signing off. My salams.